Where you from?
Started as an East Coast vibe, now I'm going worldwide. We got this bitch going crazy. I used to take the Mazda for a drive, now I'm on the 405 like it's fuck you, pain.
Hi, my name is Heather, aka Stoney Baloney, and this is the Stoney Baloney Podcast. If you're expecting anything from this podcast, don't. But if there's one thing you will learn about me, is you never know what Stoney you're gonna get. This is the journey of one spicy, sarcastic entrepreneur who came out of her cannabis closet and has been blazing through life ever since.
Except right now.
As a multi-passionate person who has lived from one coast to another, I know there is more to life than just a 9-to-5 grind. I hope to inspire others to try new things no matter how old you are, start doing things you love and turn them into your side hustles, and to simply stop giving a fuck how others want you to live your life.
For season 2, should I change the intro and the song or keep them both?
I'm feeling the vibes from that song.
What about the intro?
Good question. Have your goals changed? Because I think
No,
that
they have
pretty
not.
much
I
fits.
feel like the intro's kind of long though, but it kind of covers everything.
It's not that long.
Okay, good.
I think it's perfect.
Dude, I was jamming on the way here, like fucking bumping, and Gabe was bumping, like turn that shit down, but Mama turned it up. And I was thinking, Grandma Sophie, that's my grandma who passed away, rest in peace. Grandma Sophia, when she would be in the kitchen, she would be listening to polka music, Polacks represent. She would listen to Patsy Cline, Loretta Lynn. And when we're 80, we're going to be like bumping DMX, making banana bread for my grandkids. Stop, drop, shut them down, open up shop. Oh,
No.
that's a Rough Riders roll. Ooh, ooh. What up, Dre?
How you doing?
This is the finale of season 1. We made it a 2-parter. So today, I want to talk about a few things. And on the docket, we have renting in the 2 different economies that we're living in, which is kind of gonna go into the 2-party system. And, you know, we've got a lot of politics shit going on in the world today. My favorite topic, not. We're going to talk about some baby stuff, some baby etiquette, and kind of some stuff in between.
Some scary topics, you know. Maybe that's why I'm so nervous on the way here.
Did you smoke? Did I already ask you that?
I did not smoke.
You didn't smoke at all.
No.
Why?
Because you don't want me on your podcast if I smoke. I'm just going to stand here and giggle and go,
That's what we do. No, we have our most intellectual conversations when we're high, and I can't smoke. Start over.
Yeah.
Well,
maybe in a normal setting. Does that say sphincter boy? I saw that before the intro started, and my goodness. What are you getting me into today?
Wayne's World, party time, excellent. You know what pisses me off?
A lot of things.
Yes. And I feel like there should be like a whole 10-minute segment of my podcast every time that just starts off with people that piss me the fuck off. People that move out of Rochester that just shit on it the whole fucking time. Like they leave and they just act like their lives are so much fucking better outside of Rochester. But guess what? You're still the same miserable piece of shit that you were when you left. Dealing with the same fucking problems. You're mentally fucking incapable of being a happy human being.
Well, some people are trying to escape to find something new. Sometimes you have to facilitate change to find something more in your life and feeling like you're set in your ways, right?
That is the mistake I think I made when I went to Miami, is that I thought going 3,000 miles away would fix my problems. And I realized I could be happy in Rochester. It's how I allow the things around me into my life.
Yes. You were also 18 and going through all kinds of growth and change enough as it is. So maybe it wasn't the time.
I mean, I had a lot of fun. You know what else pisses me off? What?
I'm looking at your index card right now. We already talked about the other Scott on the last podcast. Are we going to talk about him again?
So kind of weird you brought that up because yesterday I had a dream about the other Scott. Nightmare.
Scarface Scott. Not podcast Scott.
Mufasa. And then in Wegmans, I thought I saw your Scott, but there was like 4. I swear to shit, 4 of your Scotts in the produce section, which is ironic because Andre used to work in the produce section. And it's so weird to see the same fucking people rolling around the bananas as when you used to work there. How long ago was that?
11 years since I left.
Which that was an epic quitting story, wasn't it? We never talked about my quitting story from the last place I worked on the podcast. We kind of beat around the bush, but I feel like, since Kenny doesn't really have ties there anymore, they just like cut him off of shit and said that he wasn't doing what he was doing, which they are. So if they think they're going to get out of giving him what he's owed, they're fucking shot. But, nothing makes me more mad than when people shit on good people just so they can like make themselves feel better. But don't fuck with Kenny. You want to fuck with me? That's fine. Don't fuck with Kenny. But anyway, you had an epic leaving story.
Are you trying to get me to tell the story about how I left Wegmans?
You don't have to tell the story.
I don't think I'm going to tell that story.
But let's just say, are you allowed back at the Chile Wegmans or are you banned for life?
No, I was only banned for 6 months.
That's so awesome.
I didn't get banned for how I acted when I got fired. I got banned for coming in a week later with my paycheck from the job I immediately went to get and potentially threatening the person that got me fired.
At the check desk?
The checkout desk, yes.
And then that's when you did like the hands and everything, right? Or was that the day that you left?
That was the day I actually got fired.
Yes.
I got fired in my pajamas on my day off, okay?
It's so awesome.
I just went to the customer service desk for some service and they ignored me and I threw a hissy fit because I just wanted my check cashed to pay my bills and that's the end of it.
Well, to continue on to things that piss me off.
And it's not good to throw hissy fits and it's not good to threaten people. Sometimes losing a job is a blessing. It leads to better things. It opens up doors that you didn't even know were there. So don't be like me.
I think a lot of times leaving a job is an opportunity to do better things. I see a lot of TikToks. Obviously, this generation is, very vocal about how women don't have to have children to be, that stereotype is kind of gone, which is fantastic. Like, if you don't want kids, don't have kids. There's a lot of children out there that have horrible lives because their parents didn't want children and they're treated terribly. However, I don't fucking like the people that shit on people who have kids. Like, it's great to be excited. Like, kids were not your thing. That's fine. But
what's good for the goose isn't always good for the gander, right?
But just because someone has children doesn't mean that their whole life is gone. I didn't fucking start my businesses and shit until I had children. I didn't smoke as much weed as I do until I had my fucking first kid. Like, my life expanded and got better, and it only gets better. And it's almost like I needed that push. Like, Harry gave me that push to go out and be who I've always wanted to be. And I don't know. I think that's such a cop-out when people say, when they just shit on people who had kids. Like, good for you that you don't want them. That's awesome. It's awesome that you have that choice. But don't fucking shit on people because they do.
Yeah, I had a few people tell me, oh, your wife's pregnant? Oh, your life is over. But I disagree. My life is just beginning. I have a new responsibility, something new to work towards. And it really helps bring your priorities to light. Like, you know what you need to do to provide your responsibilities, do what you love, so you can bring home love, so to speak.
I feel like you and Kenny are great examples on men who like appreciate the women in your lives. You don't like, there's people we know who have to ask permissions from their boyfriends and their husbands to do shit, like their fucking kids and whatever. And like, you guys allow Jess and I to be ourselves and embrace us. Like, you know, if we're unhappy at a job or somewhere, you stand behind us no matter what, but you're also very hands-on fathers. And that your phone's ringing, I can hear it. That stereotypical.
Should we answer it and take a guest call in the middle of the show?
Who is it?
It's Bobby's little brother, Danny.
I don't know, Danny. You guys, the stereotypical man, like expecting your woman to have dinner for you when you walk in the door, and you actually stayed home with your baby for the first few months. How long did you take your maternity leave? Paternity?
Pa. Ma, like ma, pa. Paternity, papa. Paternity leave.
So how long did you take it?
Well, you get 12 weeks. I took it consecutively. But Jess took her 12 weeks first. And she also had disability. So I stayed home for the first 2 weeks with Jess. And then Jess was home for 16 more weeks. And then I was home for 12. Which was perfect for me because she was born in August and my leave didn't start until right around Thanksgiving. And that's the slow season for what I do for a living. Anyway.
See, I am screwed out of maternity leave this time around because my part-time job didn't start me at 20 hours until later on. And then I'm trying to get it through my insurance with the deli, but you need to like show pay stubs. And it's like, when you open a business, you're not fucking giving yourself checks every week, especially if you don't have employees. So that's something I'm trying to work out, but something.
You're kind of in a loophole, like a gray area where you kind of fall through the cracks.
I'm always falling through the fucking cracks. I fucking always am, but I'm always sticking my hand out, motherfuckers. I'm fucking getting out. Speaking of which, the baby's coming very soon. And there's a lot of things coming up that I'm thinking of. One of those things is I want Gabe to have my last name and Kenny's last name. And Harrison doesn't have my last name. Are you listening to me?
Yes, I am listening to you.
Down. This is a serious conversation. So I kind of feel like it's not wrong, but I feel like is it I don't know what I'm trying to say. Like, is it weird or is it a problem that we would go out of our way to add my last name to Harry's name? Because why would I have Gabriel have my last name and not Harry? Obviously, I want Harry to have my last name. He was a Bolonic for his first month, and that made me so happy. And again, the times are changing, but I feel like it's not fair to a mother whose body will never be the same again. And people think once you push the baby out, that's it. Like, no, it's an adjustment period. It's an adjustment period even for years. And I understand it takes two people to make a baby, but what if Kenny and I got divorced one day and some other woman has the same last name as my children and I don't have that last name? And I've decided I'm not changing my last name. I want Bolonic. I'm the last of the line. And I want my boys to have my last name too. So they would go by Kenny's last name, but legally, my last name would still be there. Like, is that crazy that we would go through that process to add it to Harrison's name?
No, I don't think so. I think there's lots of more kids with hyphenated last names these days. Every situation's different.
It's funny because I asked this question on my Facebook page, and I had a lot of people reach out to me, a lot of women who said, they basically changed their last names when they were married, not necessarily because they wanted to, but it's expected to. And then they got divorced or something happened and, they kind of regretted it. Or a lot of them, like I changed my last name the first time around, and I feel bad that I haven't changed it this time, but I'm also comfortable in my relationship. I'm comfortable in my own skin. Like, I know if it doesn't work out with us, I'm going to be okay. He's going to be okay. It's whatever makes us happy. So if we're not happy together, we're not happy together. We're going to be great co-parents. But in my first relationship that I did change my last name, there was cheating and I didn't trust him. And it's kind of like that title. And I feel like there are a lot of people that, they get married and like, it's great if you're excited, but I feel like some people also lose who they are as themselves when they get married. And, it's all about their last name and whatever. And especially women going into business. I don't know. I kind of feel like it's important to keep your last name if you own businesses in case something does happen. But it really bums me out that Harry doesn't have my last name, and now bringing another child into the world, like, that's really important to me. And it's important to me that Kenny is also supportive of that and not against it either. So
That's what really matters. It doesn't really matter what anybody else thinks. It's between you and Kenny. And if he supports it, then he supports it. And I support you.
little bees. Little Balonics. But that's exciting. And then on TikTok, I saw something that kind of caught my eye, and it was people talking about like after the baby's born and like visiting and stuff like that. And I think a lot of people don't understand if they don't have kids, or even if they have kids, like let's say parents or grandparents or sisters, friends even, they don't understand that even though you're excited to see the baby, it's not about you anymore. Like, once you have your own family, you take that family and you are put on this private island now. And you're building that island, and what they say, what these people say, it doesn't matter anymore. It's what you say and what your spouse says and like what you guys want. And like people need to respect that space. So people like running to the hospital after a baby's born. My parents were very respectful the first time around. I'd have to say we got pretty lucky all around. We really didn't have many visitors, but it's also something where, you pop in for 20 minutes. You shouldn't be staying for hours. People coming into town, you have to worry about sickness. Like, you shouldn't even have visitors for the first few months like that, especially if they're traveling, because baby can get sick. And some people don't care about that. Some people do. I do, and Gabe's going to be born in the season where sickness is tough. And I didn't really think about sickness too much until I had Harry, but Harry gets sick very easily. So it makes me very upset now when people are around and they're sick, because it takes him like a month or 2 months to kick something.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, that TikTok really just struck me, because it's like, you really do start over once you start bringing kids into the picture.
Yeah, it's very overwhelming with visitors, trying to schedule them in. You're trying to form a new routine, especially with a newborn. There's no sleeping patterns. They sleep when they sleep. They got to eat every 2 and 3 hours. You're changing 15 diapers a day. And when the visitors have come and gone, you have to still be in that routine. And sometimes it's exhausting hosting, trying to take care of yourself so you can take care of your child.
You should never host. When you just have a kid, you should never host. ever. That's like not a thing. And if you do want to go visit like somebody who just had a baby, it is kind of baby etiquette to like bring something like dinner. Like you shouldn't be hosting people and making dinner, or some people do want someone to like stay with them, but if they're going to like help with the baby, and that's like their decision. Like some people want their moms to like come in. I don't even think my mom held Harry for like 3 weeks after he was born. Like she kind of poked in at the hospital and she visited a couple times at the house, but they were also like quick visits. They were respectful, dropping food off for us. Do you need anything? Gonna look at the baby and then I'm out the door.
Yeah, that's what you want.
So it's kind of crazy to like have to think about all that stuff again. But I've been hearing stories of people who have had kids and, you know, they delivered and within like 12 hours, they're having to deal with family at their house and they don't leave, or, you know, aunts or like sisters and brothers who are close with each other and they think that they, you know, have an upper hand because they're like the older sister or the older brother, and it's okay for that. They think it's okay for them to like be around for hours and stuff and like circling back the same shit. It's not up to you. It's up to mom and dad. But mom and dad, they're trying to get to know this person, and that's another thing. This baby's been inside of you and you're getting to know each other. And that love for that kid grows as time goes on, obviously, but it's a very special time.
It is a very special time. I never hear parents say, I wish I had less time with my kids. They always look back and say, I wish I had more time. So, you know, it's okay to be selfish and hog your baby every once in a while.
I am entering this like obsession stage with Harry because I know that it's not going to be just the three of us anymore, or just me and him. I know when we're home, it's going to be me, him, and Gabe. And I'm like obviously so excited for Gabe, but it also makes me really sad that our trio dynamic is going to be different. And I know it's going to be different for the better. Harry could not be any more excited to be a big brother.
He's going to be fabulous too.
He's the sweetest boy in the world. But it just, you know, it's scary. And then you think about, Harry's literally the cutest child in the world.
Second cutest child in the world. I'm claiming my daughter for that title.
It's just how...
We could settle it inside a Hell in a Cell if you would like.
It's just how can I possibly love something as much as I love this one? So it's going to be interesting.
You will.
It's going to be interesting. I brought you a sandwich today.
Thank you. It's like the order I didn't pick up last month.
Well, that's why I gave you a chicken salad sandwich. I was going to bring you a Heather's favorite panini too, which I brought Scott. But I was like, Andre probably wants a chicken salad sandwich.
You can't go wrong with the chicken salad.
Got to break in. It was fucking amazing.
You ate it already?
Oh, I housed it. Housed it.
Yes.
The longer we talk about paninis and visitors in hospitals and postpartum times, the less time we'll have to talk about a two-party system, which is what we're trying to avoid.
Well, before we get into the two-party system, I do want to say that I do want to say that...
Is that about me? Because I'm like a guest on the podcast. I'm the only man here besides Gabe, but...
So the deli, I'm like stressed, but I'm happy. Like we're getting lots of orders, lots of big companies, but I don't think people realize that when you start a business, you're in the hole. Like I'm not making enough to make my rent. I pay rent at 3 different fucking places. Like it's stressful. And then I get these huge catering orders and I'm like, this is awesome. Like we're going to do good. And then it's like, well, you got to pay for all this food. And then you got to pay for supplies that you didn't have because this catering order needs something that the last one didn't have. And I know it's going to take time. So I'm trying to creatively do things to where, like today I did a pop-up before I came here. So people had to pick a time slot, and I kind of fucked up with that because I wasn't thinking. So I thought people would order like 1 or 2 sandwiches, but like people were ordering like 6 to 10 sandwiches. And then I gave myself 10-minute time slots. So I got my ass kicked, and I fucked up twice. Could have been worse. It was my first time. I'm also doing this by myself. But it was good. So the first time we fucked up, I forgot someone's panini. But everything else was like really good and they were happy. So that was fine. The second time, I also forgot someone's panini, but I made you a chicken sandwich before I left, and I made Scott Heather's favorite panini. And the lady messaged me and said, "Are you going to be here soon?" And I look and I'm like, I fucking forgot an order. I thought I was done. However, what she got was what I made Scott, and it was still warm because I literally just left. So I was able to just circle back real quick, and it was all good. And she said it was so damn good and whatever, and she was really happy.
And
so,
Scott got an even fresher one. Everybody wins.
He did. It was maybe still warm. So I had 2 fuck-ups. 2 fuck-ups, but for being by myself, like it's not bad. But I am realizing that, especially with the baby coming, not having maternity leave, like I haven't stepped away from Shade. I never want to lose Shade. I love that spot. I love Shade, but I do need to find somebody to rent a room to help cover rent while I'm out and whatever. But I can't do that until I get rid of the fucking cats. And it just makes me so mad that I've even been stuck in this situation. And I'm not going to lie, my parents make me mad too, because I'm in this situation because of them. And I've been bugging them to take the cats ever since Tony passed away. And they're not budging. They're done with cats.
I'm telling you, though, the way Becky and Darlene are, you just put them in there with a litter box and it'll take them like 72 hours to even notice that they're there. And then what are they going to do?
Well, there's no way I'd be dead. But it really is stressful because...
No, they can't kill you when you're about to give them another grandchild. You have all the cards in your hand right now. Play them.
I really need to find a home for these cats. And the other option is taking them to a place, but they're all maxed out capacity because all the cats are having kittens right now. Then even if they do get into a place, they're probably going to be in small ass cages for the next year or two, because I really doubt anyone's going to adopt them because they're ghost cats. But even though I'm not there that much, they are friendly. So that was disgusting. That was literally gross.
I had to burp the entire last time we did this, and I came in today thinking I'm not going to burp, but as soon as I got here, that's all that seems to be happening to me. There must be something about this room.
Well, you might as well have just kept that on. We also have a burp grading system that we've had forever. I'd put that as like a 7.5, just on like disgustingness alone. That was really fucking gross.
Could you smell it?
You're an idiot. If I could smell it, I would have thrown up. So that's the struggle that I'm having now.
The burp grading system. I forgot all about that.
And so if anyone wants to adopt 2 cats, please let me know, because I need them gone. It's been 5 years that I've been trying to find them a home.
They are good cats.
They're great cats. They've thrown up once the whole time I've had them. Once. And I feel bad because they're in like such a small space. But at the same time, they were going to get killed if I let them go. Or she was just a dumb bitch who fucking conned me into taking the cats and just told me that story, which she probably did, because I see her on all the community pages with her fucking sob stories. And it makes me mad because she's a well-known place on the west side of town. Fucking cunt.
Whoa.
Sorry.
You may have got conned. I mean, you do wear your love for animals on your sleeve, so to speak.
Oh, speaking of which, there's a baby.
Oh my God, it's serious.
Yes, there's a baby bunny across the street, and he gets too close to the road and makes me nervous, but he's like not completely afraid of me. And every time I see his little ears from the living room, I run across the street because I want to make sure that he gets away from the road. So yesterday I went to throw my peach out because it tasted weird because I got woods behind in front of my house. And when I went to go throw it and I saw little bunny ears, well, maybe the bunny wants the peach. So I go across the street and I kneel down and the bunny didn't run away. And then I rolled the peach to the bunny, but it rolled the other way. Total Plinko moment. And the bunny looked at me and he hopped to the peach. He trusted me enough to go after the peach. So we're building a relationship and I'm really excited about it. However, now every morning and every evening, I have to be outside when I think he's going to be out there so that I make sure he doesn't get hit by a car. So that's my life. So speaking of which, I have here renting and the two different economies that we're living in. And Kenny and I just got pre-approved finally after years for a mortgage. However, we still have to save. We didn't get approved for much. Only Kenny did this time. And in the past, I've been approved, but I need a cosigner. And it just really sucks because there was such a pressure for us to go to school and go to college as soon as we graduated. And looking back, like there should have been a pressure on us to buy a house and invest in a home. And I have a girl that's going to be that's going to be training to be a spray tan artist, and she was telling me she makes $24.50 where she is now, and how hard it is for her. And I was like, dude, do you know how long it took me to make $30 an hour? I'm fucking 36 years old, and like, yeah, it's tough for you guys too, but at least you're coming into, because she's super young, you're coming into the adult world knowing what you're up for, knowing that the housing is fucking hard to get and it's a very competitive and shit. Like, we got fucked. But then our grandparents and our parents' generations, like their houses are paid off, most of them, some of them, and they get retirements and they're getting fucking senior discounts at fucking McDonald's, and you know, we really got shit. And there is 1,000% like two different economies going on right now.
Like the haves and the have-nots?
Yes.
I mean, it's kind of always been that way, but I know what you mean. It's certainly gearing towards a renter's economy where it's getting harder and harder to own a home every year. We didn't see this coming. A lot of these increases in prices have those people that have their houses paid off that want to either upgrade, downsize, relocate, whatever it may be. It's got them afraid to, because all the equity in their home is just going to go to an inflated price on a new place, and they're not even going to make anything from it.
Houses that were $195,000 3 years ago are now looking at $450,000. Like, that's fucking insane. But yet, some places don't even want to pay someone who's 40 years old with a college experience fucking more than $20 an hour. When I left the bullshit place, I was going to go back and cook somewhere and they were going to give me $18 an hour. And I'm like, fuck that shit. Like, I went to fucking culinary school. I busted my ass in the food business for 15 years. I can run that fucking shit. Like, $18 an hour, eat my fucking ass. It's fucking bullshit. So, you know, we're happy where we're renting. But I feel like my biggest struggle is that I do come from my parents who are OCD and antisocial, even though they are social. And
on their own terms.
Correct. Which I feel like I'm the same. Like, all the things I used to bitch about, I'm turning into. But I like my space. Like, and I'm used to Brian, who has nothing in his yard but a shed, has his shit mowed every 2 days. Like, Prestige Auto worldwide, like, that shit is mint. But it's hard not having your own space. And like, this is the best renting experience we've ever had right now, but it's still like not ours. I could see us here. We're gonna stay here until we get a house. But when we can get a house, who the fuck knows? I'm trying to con my parents into selling their boat, buying a townhouse at Canandaigua, and selling us their house. But I was looking at townhouses in Canandaigua, and that shit's fucking expensive.
Sounds like a good idea, Brian and Jen.
But they pay a lot for their fucking boat slip every month in Canandaigua. It's like fucking triple rent. So I feel like they could swing it.
I'm sure they could. I don't know their finances, but I'm sure that they could.
With that being said, big news in the political world, and people, when I say I'm about to talk about politics, probably think I'm going to go in and say, like, go fucking Harris or go fucking Trump, and that's not what I'm going to say. What I'm going to say is, one, fucking boomer, alcoholic, racist, fucking pieces of shit, fucking Republican, hard-humping motherfuckers. I cannot stand them. Like, but at the same time, fucking, like, someone in my family is hardcore. There's a lot of hardcore Democrats in my family as well. And they're just as bad. They are just as bad because they both obsess over one person, which is a problem. It doesn't work with one person's views and one person's views. Like, we need someone in the fucking middle. Why do we keep doing these parties that don't, like, we need someone level-headed in the fucking middle. And I just don't think that's ever going to happen in our fucking lifetime.
No, it's never going to happen because the people in the other parts of the government, the legislative branch and so on, won't allow it because they consolidate their power. They all get on the same page with each other and they support one person. So in order to get that support from the elites, you have to toe the company line, so to speak, toe the party line. And who gets screwed? All the people.
And it just boggles my mind. And it boggles my mind that, you know, it's a problem when you can't put your little fucking pride flag down. And not like pride. I'm saying like your pride. You can't put your flag down.
Take it easy over there.
I didn't mean that kind of pride. I'm saying self-pride. You can't take your self-pride, put that flag down, and say, you know what? I don't want this person as a president. I don't think they should be president. I don't agree with everything they say. However, this does make sense. Or if you look at the numbers, for example, like there's one person in my family that I literally can't talk to them without throwing Trump in there, like in a negative way. And it's like, dude, I feel like people who obsess over politics like that, and they are constantly watching the news and they constantly got to bring up Trump this or Biden this or whatever, they are just miserable people who are miserable in their own lives, but they use politics as a way to fucking put it all out there. You all fucking suck. But every time I talk to this person, they throw out how Trump this, Trump that, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, if you actually look at the numbers, the economy was actually better with Trump. Unemployment was high, but we also came out of COVID and all those people that weren't working. When was Trump president? Do you know the years?
January 20th, 2017 to 2021. January 20th.
So end of COVID, middle of COVID, beginning of COVID.
Yeah, right at the start of like the second spike or something. 10 months into COVID, we got a new president.
And then Biden came in after COVID. Or end of COVID. So, you know, he also had to like deal with the repercussions of like what that entailed. But it's like people don't care about facts. They don't care about numbers. It's literally just this party and this party. And it doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't. You know what doesn't make sense to me?
What?
I can have a conversation with somebody that's hard right. Just a regular conversation about these things without saying I'm voting for this and I'm voting for that. Just a conversation. And I can agree with them about 60% of the time. And then I can have a conversation with somebody on the hard left. And same thing. We can agree 60, 65% of the time. But if I put those two people in a room together, they won't agree about a goddamn thing. How is that possible?
What do you...
See, that's America. What makes us different, makes us great, but we're not as different as we seem. And the divide gets bigger and bigger and bigger. But until the people unite, they're going to keep doing this with the two-party system and pushing the divide and making the divide bigger and so on and so on and so forth. But at the end of the day, we all want the same thing. We want to wake up. We want to be healthy. We want to take care of the people that we take care of. We want to do the things that we enjoy. And, that's everybody when they wake up in the morning.
I feel like the two biggest things coming out of this election that I'm worried about, which honestly, I stay out of politics. I feel like whoever I vote for isn't going to get it. Actually, I voted one time the last time. Not this time, the time before that. And that person will, maybe not that time. What time? I voted one time. I only voted one time. But I think,
Trump versus Hillary, Trump versus Biden.
I'm not going to say because I'm not going to say. Do you vote every year?
I haven't voted since 2008.
Wow. But you used to vote. So you voted for like 2 years?
I voted one time.
Those were the Amherst days, right?
Yes.
That's when I was a puck slut. 2010.
Puck slut.
When was I a puck slut?
Sometimes I think you still are, but
So one of my raging stories.
yes, 2008, 2009.
One of my favorite stories is I was dating someone who was an asshole, and we actually took a couple breaks, I guess you could say. There was some weird breaks. Would you agree? There were some breaks.
Yes, there were some breaks. Some of them were facilitated over MySpace messages, so
Yeah.
that's how long ago it was.
Yeah. So there was some breaks, and I took one of those breaks as an opportunity to explore. And we went to hockey games all the time and stuff. And this is when the Amherst used to live in Cornhill. Was it Cornhill?
Yes.
Yeah. So
Back when it was a newer development.
Yuri Talusti. Listen, I didn't sleep with Yuri Talusti, okay? But he was talking to me on Facebook Messenger quite a bit. So let's just say on one of these breaks, I may have played hockey with one of these hockey players who went off to the Florida Panthers, right? For a few games?
Yes. We're really talking about this on the podcast
Fuck
right now.
yeah. I don't give a fuck. So me and this person ended up getting back together for a while. And it was great because I would say in the most rockiest part of our relationship, which was towards the end, you guys would play. What year was the hockey? Was it 360?
Yeah, NHL 12.
On 360, right? Xbox?
Yes.
And my significant other at the time used to always pick this hockey player to play, having no idea that on our little stint of a break, I played hockey with him.
Yeah. Wow.
And it wasn't on the ice. So I feel like that's a reigning awesome moment, which, by the way, was a really funny time because me, you, and somebody else, I won't say a name, was that the same night or same week where we all had a crazy week?
It was the same night. Oh my God.
It was the same night. That was a really fun time. We used to always go on road trips. We went to Canada a few times. And a few times, those were, we weren't supposed to go to Canada, or we just used other people's vehicles, like grandma's, and we weren't supposed to.
Easy now.
What are you scared for? We're almost 40 fucking years old. Are you really, really, really upset? Listen, there's a couple things that I will hold to my grave that I know. For example,
I'm going to not hold it to my grave by telling you about it right now.
nope, I'm not going to say it out loud, but I want to see if you can figure out what I'm talking about.
I already know what you're talking about. We're going to tell her on her deathbed someday, and that's the end of it.
Whose mother?
She must be somebody's mother.
No. I'm talking about the blunt night.
The blunt night?
Yes. That's very vague.
Yes, it is very vague. There have been several blunt nights.
It was the blunt night when
I just had a blunt night this weekend on Boys Weekend. I don't smoke blunts anymore, but when my brother comes to town, I do. And it was amazing.
Did you cough a lot?
No, I didn't.
I can't wait to
But I heard it in my voice when I went back and looked at some of the videos I took while we were on our trip. The raspiness in my voice, that's like definitely the blunts.
I can't wait to smoke again and to see if my inhaler helps me smoke blunts.
I'm sure it does.
I think it will. I mean, it's 50-50. Like, I don't think people understand when I say my lungs can't handle a joint or a blunt, so I smoke bongs. But a bong is such a cleaner hit, and it's just like it's like a quick puff, and it all hits your throat, and I still cough and fucking pee my pants every time I cough because I'm a mom now. Oh, it's gonna get so much worse when I have Gabe, probably. It fucking sucks. What? Was I not supposed to say that? I'm not fucking ashamed. It fucking happened. I had a fucking baby.
No, there's nothing to be ashamed of. Let me circle back. Are you talking about the night we got locked out of the house?
Yes.
Yeah, let's leave it there.
Oh, I cannot wait to tell that story someday. First off, you're an idiot. You were wrong on that one.
Yes, I was. I also knew what I tried to do wasn't going to work, and I tried to do it anyway.
Correct. But what we came up with after was even fucking worse. And that's why we have to hold that to our graves.
Yeah.
What do you think this is the dumbest thing we ever did? That we can talk about.
I can't answer that. I can't answer that.
Well, I guess this wasn't really dumb,
I
but
wish you would have told me that was something we were going to talk about in advance. Maybe I could have thought about it.
it just came up. But also, I want to say, for someone who doesn't, you're a fucking asshole. Because you judged my outfit today when I got out of the car.
I did not judge. I just held a laugh in very hard.
I'm sorry that I'm fat and I'm uncomfortable and I don't feel comfortable wearing clothes right now. But this is what I fucking picked today.
That's fine. We're friends. I should be able to bust your chops about it. But if you're pregnant, you wear whatever you want. Mama's got to be comfortable. And I'm not.
And I'm very
shaming.
uncomfortable.
I'm not shaming.
You were shaming. You were laughing. What? And what's so funny? Should I be embarrassed?
No.
What's wrong with the outfit?
Nothing is wrong with your outfit. Nothing is wrong with it at all. I was just thinking, as somebody who grew up with you and has known you forever, that, oh my God, that's so Heather. Not oh my God, how can a pregnant woman go out in public like that? Like, it's terrible to shame and body shame a pregnant woman. I was not doing that. To all the loyal listeners, I was not doing that.
I will say my short choice is a little shorter than I anticipated these being when I bought them. However, they're fucking comfortable And a couple months ago, I bought maternity clothes, and none of them fucking fit me anymore. I almost had to cut my shorts off at Harry's soccer game last week because I was having a fucking panic attack that my pants were too tight. And then Harry had forehead collided with another kid.
Ooh.
And it sounded terrible. It was the worst sound I ever heard. Like, I had to do one of those run on the field kind of things. And then another mom, like, brought an ice pack. And I'm like, I don't like my kid playing sports anymore.
Did he stay in the game?
He did go back in the game. His last soccer game is Monday. Kenny was thinking maybe we won't have him play next year. I said we'll leave it up to Harry if he wants to play. I like going to his games, but I would never force my child to play any sports or anything. And honestly, I think maybe we've talked about this last time or a time before, but I've heard a lot of stories of like hazing and football and shit like that. And sports could be a scary world for kids.
Yes, it can.
And it's even scarier when you throw parents in the equation that obsess over sports and they want their kids to play certain things because that's what they played, or they think that because you're a man or you're a boy that you should play football or you should play this and whatever. And I also know girlfriends who want their girls to do cheer or dance, and then when their kids decide they don't want to do it anymore, they get upset. And it's like, what are you getting upset for? Like, just because that's what you wanted for yourself and whatever, you don't project that on your children.
I agree. Anytime you spend forcing your kid to do something that they don't want to do is taking away precious time where they can actually explore and learn a new skill, something they might actually be interested in.
I'm good with Harry not playing sports, and I don't think he's really a sports kid. However, I do appreciate what it's teaching him to pay attention. His coach actually kind of yelled at him yesterday and said, if you want to play, then you need to pay attention. And he kind of he's so funny.
We couldn't be missing out on the next great Stevie Wonder because parents don't want him to play music. You're going to play sports because I said so. Now we don't get another Stevie.
I would love Harry to get into music. I wouldn't force it, but also I wish on the podcast, and I don't think this is something we can do with copyrights and all that other shit, but because of my love for music and how much music is a part of my life, even though I'm not musically talented, I wish we could have a 2-minute segment on the podcast where there's a jam of the day and we jam out to a song that's a banger and then smoke a blunt.
I agree. Based on what you've rolled up in this parking lot listening to, I take it the song of the day is Regulate.
Dude, I was jamming to Tupac, Lil Wayne, blah, blah, blah. So technically this is the last episode. We're wrapping up now. I know, that was so fast today. I think Scott lied.
I don't think he did. I think time flies when you're having fun.
Yes, especially when it's me and you. But I don't know. I feel like moving forward, I like Dre on the podcast.
Thanks.
Cool. All right. Well,
I feel really awkward and off today.
Because you didn't smoke, idiot.
I didn't smoke last time, and I felt like it went really, really well.
Weird. Maybe it's because you changed your shirt. Whatever. Well,
I didn't want to connect my company to some of the potential topics that we were going to discuss. And, yeah.
Well,
so I just want to be an individual today, not, trying to cross promote anything.
Until next time, it was nice to have you on again, Dre. This is the last episode of season 1. Last episode of season 1, so thanks for joining me again.
It's been a great season. I've listened to all the episodes.
Yes.
Keep up the good work. I like your visions for season 2. And yes, I would love to be a reoccurring guest on the podcast.
Thank you. Maybe you can come on the next one and we'll have a guest come on and then we interview them. Can we do that? Be down next month?
Like a third person?
Yeah, like a professional. And then we Bob and Dobeck. What is it? Step Brothers. We Step Brothers them. We Pam them.
Oh,
Let's do
okay.
it. All right. Peace out, Stonies.
Peace out, Stonies.